Hi, and welcome to another episode of UpGrade with Maria Kay, the podcast where your success, freedom, and happiness get a weekly boost. Hey, it's so great to have you here. I'm always over the moon that you have taken this time out of your busy schedule to check in with how your life is going, how your progress is shaping up. It gives me great pleasure to know that you've dedicated this time. If you haven't already done so, hop on over to the Facebook group and join us. Simply search UpGrade with Maria Kay and you'll be able to share not only what is happening for you, any questions that you may have, but also any suggestions, any requests for topics for future episodes that you may really want to hear about. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Maria Kay, and I help people all over the world create the success, freedom, and happiness in their lives that they truly desire and truly deserve. It is one of my life's missions to assist and facilitate as many people as possible really upgrade their life from where it is now to a place that makes them want to jump out of bed every single morning, raring to start their day. Today's question is, are your daily actions and thoughts lining up with your upgrade? In simple terms, is what you're doing, thinking, applying yourself to, spending your time on every day, assisting you in becoming who you desire to be, reaching the place that you desire to reach? You see, it's all very well and good having a goal, a vision, a dream. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know that, I'm really for that. It's what I dedicate my life doing. So have a vision, have a dream. But then the question is, are we showing up as that person now, today, tomorrow? You see, it's really easy to have the mentality and the mindset that I'll do that when A, B, or C happens. I'll think that way, or I'll believe those beliefs when I've completed X, Y, Z. But what we're talking about today, in today's episode, is identifying where we want to go. And if you're still uncertain about that, if you're still not sure, please do go back to the previous episodes, because I have spent a lot of airtime really going into that on a deep level and assisting you in getting as clear as you possibly can. And also taking ownership of your desires. Realizing what it is that you really want and embracing it full force without shame, without guilt. So if you're still kind of a bit wobbly and a bit uncertain, haven't got a crystal clear vision, then I do recommend that you jump back to previous episodes and get that really solidly in place. And once you have got that in place, we want to trace our steps back and look very closely at what happens on a moment-to-moment basis in our life. In essence, we want to put our life on the table and literally dissect it, get into the nooks and crannies, uncover everything that's going on, even the things that we don't deem important. Creating the life that you desire and deserve actually doesn't happen by chance. I'm talking about the deliberate, conscious, everlasting shifts that equal a transformation. the ones that change you as a person forever, the ones that completely overhaul your life for the better. Now, if you study successful people, now let's just throw in, because it's really important to me and it's my whole ethos, that we achieve success, but we also create more freedom and happiness in our lives at the same time. So if you can study successful, free and happy people, you will find that they have one or two things in common. Most of them make it their priority to apply themselves on a daily basis to let's call it their upgrade, or to their goal or their vision, right? And that means immersing themselves day by day and creating a desired state that actually matches up with the state that they are creating for their future upgrade. Now, you may say, Maria, how is that possible? Have you not seen the life that I'm living now? Have you not seen my reality? From where I'm sitting, Maria, the dream that I have to run a multi-million-dollar company, or become the owner of a business that supports myself and my family effortlessly, or to have the body and health and wellness of my dreams, the dream relationship, whatever it is in your life. Maria, have you not seen where I am now? The struggles that I experience on a daily basis? The troubles, the fears, the worries. How can you say that I need to act, feel, think and be as I want to be in my future self? And my friend, it may feel like a million worlds apart. It may feel like the most impossible thing ever. But that is an idea, a belief, a perception that you choose to hold on to. So just before we really get into today's session, I'd like to invite you to be willing to change your mind. Now, you may not know how you can change your mind in this moment. You may be in a big state of overwhelm. You may have hit rock bottom in the recent days, months, or years, which will have quite likely put you in a state of despair, low vibration, battling with inner voices, negative mind chatter. You may actually be completely and utterly deflated. But the fact that you have shown up here today really shows me that there is, even if it's a tiny amount, there's a glimmer of hope for you. Now, from where I am sitting, I know there's hope for you. How do I know that? Because I was once where you are. I was once, on many occasions actually, in a heap on the ground. You know that rock bottom level that most of us talk about? Well, I was beneath that. I'd buried my way underneath the rock bottom that most of us know. And I can giggle about it now, but it wasn't nice. I couldn't see a way out. Sometimes I didn't want to get out of bed, or I didn't want to push forward. It did feel overwhelming. You'd look out the window and all you would see is pitch black darkness. But today I've showed up and I've got a bright torch for each and every one of you. Because if I can pull myself out of the numerous rock bottom moments, and I don't want to dampen today's energy. If you want to hear all about my journey and my stories, go and listen to the previous podcast episodes. I've shared a lot, right? I believe in acknowledging reality, honoring feelings, emotions, hurt, wounds. I believe in acknowledging and actually showing up for what is today, but for a short period of time. I do not believe, and I am so passionate about this, I do not believe that swimming around in our past experiences, trying to uncover, unpick, understand even every little thing that went on, I do not believe that it benefits anyone at all. So for that reason, I'm not going to unearth it all. It's not going to help you today. But if you want to hear more and you want some proof perhaps that, well, okay, that story is a bit of a dire story, maybe there is hope for me. And I have to say, the stories, the success stories of my previous mentors and coaches have really helped me to understand that, well, actually, if she can do it, and if she has been where I am, then I can do this. There is hope. So for now, understand that I'm holding a space for you to reignite that hope for you. So no matter what's going on for you right now, no matter what it may look like, just for the rest of this podcast, I invite you to be willing to believe that things can change. Now, the reason I emphasize willingness is because sometimes that's all we have. We may not have any other answers, but if we become willing to change our mindset, if we become willing to try, if we become willing to feel better, willing to get some answers, willing to follow the guidance, willing to follow our intuition, you get the gist? It opens up the space. It's literally like taking your first step. So whatever life may look like now, and however far-fetched or totally distant your dream, vision, upgraded life may look like, may seem like, from today, I would like you to become both the architect and the builder of your life, right? Now, an architect, I think, has a cool job designing a building exactly how they would like it to be. Allowing the limitlessness of this world to shine through in their design, in their work, in their vision. And that is the same power that you hold. You have the freedom to design your life exactly how you want it to be. And then once it's clearly down on paper and clearly in your mind's eye and in your heart, you then also have the power to build it exactly how you want it to be. But first and foremost, just the same way a group of builders will need to consult the blueprint or the architect's design plan of a building, the same will apply for you as you build. You create a plan based on the vision that you have. So in essence, we walk backwards. We trace our way backwards from where we want to be. Let's call it point Z, right? And right now we are at point A. So we want to take all of those next steps deliberately, purposefully, in alignment with your vision, on point, It's not unlike following a recipe for a meal or a dish. Once you have made the decision as to what will be prepared, more often than not, aside from the people who kind of throw in a bit of this and a bit of that, if you have a specific dish that you want to create, you grab a recipe, you read it through, you distinguish what ingredients are needed, and then you take each ingredient step by step and create the dish. Now, if you are creating, for example, a pasta dish, and you have the inclination to pour in a few teaspoons of golden syrup just for the heck of it, the dish is kind of not going to work out how you had anticipated or how you had hoped. Let's say you're creating a spaghetti carbonara and you decide to put in some golden syrup and then maybe some Nutella and then maybe some jam, right? It's totally off topic, totally out of context. So the end result will not be in alignment with your desire. The same applies to your day, your current life, how you spend your time, where you apply yourself, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions. Everything that you show up for today impacts on what is being created for your future. And if you decide to put random things into your day that have nothing to do with where you desire to be in 12 months, 24 months, 6 years, however long you have kind of ahead of you, if you decide to put random things in place, getting to your desired state, reaching that upgrade, creating the magic and the miracles that you are calling forth will be a lot harder. So how do we do that? How can we decipher what we are applying ourselves to and understand whether it's right or wrong or assisting us? So let's go back to basics. So I want you to really tune in and understand, maybe jot some notes down so that you can spend the next few days, over the next week when you get some time, really putting your life on the table and dissecting it, following these simple steps. Okay? So first of all, you want to ask your question. Are my daily actions in alignment with where, who, and what I want to be? That's the first question. So what you want to do is start at the beginning. So I've already talked about willingness. So what you find yourself looking at, maybe dissecting your diary, having a look at those commitments that really aren't serving you anymore. Who are you spending your time with? Do they uplift you? Do they make you believe that you are capable of really shifting your life forward? Or do you end up feeling deflated and come away feeling as though you are living in cloud cuckoo land, even contemplating trying to move forward? So you want to be really choosy with how you spend your time, being purposeful and deliberate as you design your days. So you want to look at your goals, your vision, or where it is you want to be. So the person you desire to be, the life you desire to have. And once you've sort of left no stone unturned and you've really understood the mechanics, the makeup of who you want to be. So for example, if you want to create a life that gives you the freedom to travel for 6 months of the year, for example, and still earn, a really great supportive salary while you're doing so, then what you'd first and foremost have to do is work your way backwards and understand, well, how can I even set about earning that income, for example, right? What skills do I have? Am I utilizing those skills right now? What do I believe about having a location independent business that can take me traveling around the world effortlessly, right? So not only are we looking at the physical evidence, so the things that show up every day, the things you show up for, the actions, the work, the jobs that you do, the relationships that you have, we're also looking at the beliefs behind them. Because if you decide, for example, that you want to run a marathon in 12 months' time, and you have a really strong belief knocking around that your joints are weak, perhaps because you've inherited an issue with your joints, perhaps your knee joints or your ankle joints or whatever, then it's very clear that that belief that you're carrying will not serve you as you move forward. It will hinder you. It could even block you. It could even create chaos and drama, which tends to be the case. So whatever arena you are deciding to upgrade in, have a look at what your beliefs are around the next levels for you. What tends to happen is when we decide to up level, do something bigger, better, improve, a lot of our limitations will come up, our beliefs, the blocks that we have learnt over the years since childhood. Because as children, guys, we believe that anything's possible and we believe we deserve the things that we want. But as we get conditioned and socialized and told what's sensible and what isn't sensible, so do our beliefs sort of fall into that pattern and mold themselves into what's sensible, what we see to be true in the world. So be choosy with how you spend your time, be choosy with who you spend your time with, and be purposeful and deliberate as you design your days. So we've said take your goals and look into every nook and cranny, leaves no stone unturned. I mean, this is a really good law of attraction exercise too, because you're really immersing yourself into what you desire. You're bringing it to life, igniting it, animating it in your mind, in your heart, in your emotions, everything. But we're not doing it purely for that. So recently, one of the podcast topics was how to avoid distraction along the way as we upgrade. So this exercise is paramount to sift through those, the tons of distractions that mostly get in our way and eat away at our time and our energy and our attention. So really do spend some time having a look at that. And then imagine yourself in front of a subway map. Right, pinpoint your desired destination and then trace back via the appropriate route to where you are now. And you will understand that really you want the quickest and the most joyful route available. Chances are, especially on a subway, you're not going to want to take the long route. Okay, so the same applies to your upgrade, right? We haven't got time to waste. Life is for living. It's an amazing adventure that we can go on a daily basis. So why not take the quick route? So my suggestion is swap the dead-end, outdated commitments for joyful, upgraded, inducing activities, things that you know are going to bring you to where you want to be. If you want to become a professional swimmer, then spend your time swimming, training in the pool. If you want to become as the previous example, location independent and take your business wherever you go so you can travel the world, then start to create products and services that can allow for that. Start now. Stop wasting your time in those perpetual long-winded chores that you have to do on a daily basis. As much as possible, delegate. I'm not saying that life has to be put on hold and that we can't live a real quote unquote life, making dinner for the kids or tidying up or doing the grocery shopping. Of course, those things can happen as long as they make you feel joyful and they don't eat into too much of your time. I have a client who we're actually going through this process for her now, and we're really just sifting out very simple things from her weeks and her day so we can free up a whole load of time so she can inject it into her dream, her passion, her life purpose, which is to help people also create the life that they desire through creative outlets. Okay. Her passion, her dream, her talent, her abilities lay in the arts. So it really doesn't sit right for her to be spending time mowing the grass in the garden and, spending 2 or 3 hours grocery shopping and stressing out about what to cook for the family and all of those things that, right, granted, they need to happen, but there are simple, elegant ways that they can happen and give you extra time. Your time is really precious. It's one of the most precious commodities that you can ever have. So really, please use it wisely. You want to declutter anything that's unnecessarily blocking up your time, eating into your energy, and distracting you from growing your bliss and expanding your horizons. Now, this process can be as rapid or as slow as feels comfortable for you. It really doesn't have to be on anyone else's terms other than your own. Now, touching on the point of becoming your own architect and your own builder of your life. Now, I want you to, for a second, forget what already went down in your life. You may have followed the pattern of the people around you. You may have followed suit. You may have woken up one day just like I did, looked around your life and thought, when did this happen? This wasn't what I signed up for. The same thing happened to me. One day I woke up, I realized I was in I was doing the same businesses that my family was doing. I followed suit. I took huge responsibility in the family business. I had a husband, 2 kids, the house, everything looked perfect from the outside, but I wasn't happy. For most people, it looked as though I was successful, free and happy, but it wasn't the case. It was totally out of alignment for me. And then what happened was my whole life crumbled around me. Okay. So that may have happened for you. It may be in the process of going on for you, but I want you to move forward from this day on and take control. You are the master of your own life, nobody else. So as you move forward, navigate with conviction, navigate with purpose, take ownership of your life, hold it really close to you, and leave the past in the past. Don't let it tarnish you, weigh you down, or even for a second encourage you to believe that you cannot create change, because you can. So the things that most successful people have in common, there are definitely a few, but one of the things is showing up on a daily basis with a willingness to work tirelessly. And that doesn't mean just work tirelessly for a week. It doesn't mean work tirelessly for a month. Now, let me just clarify, this is not work in its traditional sense. And actually, some may even label it as lazy or self-indulgent behavior. And really, we haven't come this far in our upgrade journey to worry about what other people think or say. That's not to say that we have, completely no attachment to other people's opinions. It takes a long time to reach that point. But how could it be? How would it be if we were indifferent, if it really didn't bother us either way? We know they've got an opinion, but we don't allow it to affect us. So the most prominent thing that successful people have in common is they know what they want and they work for it consistently, day by day by day. And the big key here is never giving up. Now, that means showing up on a day when even you may not feel like it. It means showing up and continuing on your journey during the holidays, on special occasions, for birthdays. Now, I don't want you to misconstrue this and think that I'm encouraging you to become a workaholic, or to ignore or disregard or step away from the things that really make you happy. Far from it. When you are working towards a purpose, when you have a reason for waking up every day, one that is in alignment with your soul, one that really is heart-led, then you are in your joy and in your happy zone and in your bliss zone. So if you want to become a published writer, published author, then it's very clear. Spend some time every day writing. If you want to become an Olympic swimmer, of course, spend time each day swimming. If you want to become a good parent with a great connection with your child, spend time each day connecting with your child. You kind of get the gist, right? Whatever it is you want to become in the future, start becoming it today. On a small basis. Take 5 minutes a day. Take 10 minutes a day. I had a beautiful client once who was a really great artist as a child and a young person, but she kind of let it slip to the side. Life took over. She had lots of responsibilities, became a mother, and things just didn't progress in that arena for her. We started working together, and one of the very first things that we set her up with was to have an art space, a creative space in her house where she could go each day and be creative for 5 minutes. And then that escalated into 10 and then 15, and then she was producing these beautiful pieces of artwork, and then her life just opened up. So identify what arena you are instigating and upgrading, and pick specific activities that line up with that. I really want to also bring up the what I call sort of secondary activities, the activities that may not be directly linked with being an Olympic swimmer or directly linked with becoming a published author, but will help you as a human being, as a person, mold yourself into the person you want to become, almost sort of as if it was carrying you, assisting you in moving forward. And anything that involves working on your mindset, creating a great mind, body, soul connection, anything that allows you to develop on a spiritual level, on a personal level. See, the more gunk from your past that you can clear, the lighter you become, and that means you can soar your way forwards. Anything that allows you to become truly who you are today, that reality that's bursting to come through into your life, those desires that are leading you forward, nudging you one step at a time, anything like that does that for you, and it's so unique and individual. I want you to go and explore what it is for you and feed back to me. Let me know. Post in the Facebook group, Upgrade with Maria Kay. Send me an email, comment on this audio. However you feel you want to connect with me, please do so. I'm leaving you with as much courage as you can absorb in this moment. The courage to take that first step. The courage to scrap anything from your life that isn't working right now and shift your life into a place, onto a pathway, into a direction that is the fastest route to your life upgrade. You deserve it.